I am here with writer, poet, comedian Shane Langan. And this weekend at the Carlsberg Comedy Carnival, you've brought together an eclectic bunch of performers as part of your Not Also But Only project. You've got Barry Murphy, Mark Doherty, Maeve Higgins, Ian Coppinger, Jarlath Regan, and the League of Gentlemen's Jeremy Dyson will join you for what you describe as an evening of laid-back comedy, short storytelling from the least boring minds in comedy, a place where good old-fashioned storytelling can lay its woolly hat and call its home. Yeah, you did. It sounds brilliant. It's on your MySpace.
Oh, the MySpace thing. Okay.
Yeah. So where and when did you begin your Not Also But Only project?
I think it started off as a blog, and it was after Edinburgh last year. I kind of wanted to have. I went to Edinburgh with Iveagh Gardens, the group, so everything was working through a group. So I kind of wanted a channel for something just for me. That was kind of where I got the name from. It was originally, I think in the 70s, maybe 70s. I think there was a TV show called Not Only But Also, which was not only Dudley Moore but also Peter Cook. So I wanted something that was not also Iveagh Gardens but only Shane Langan. So it was a blog basically where I could just put my short stories and poems and stuff like that. And then I decided that I wouldn't mind doing a live act of some sort of my own to give it a go. So I booked into Bewley's for January, and I called it Not Also But Only, and I didn't know what it would be. So I just knew I had to write X amount of material. I thought it would probably just be me. But then when I came around to it, I thought it'd be a nice idea to just get other comedians on to read short stories. There'll be one or two nights like that in the UK. I think it's probably more popular over there. You might find it in America as well. But there's never really been out like that in Ireland. So I thought it'd be cool. I know a lot of comedians who have short stories in their back pockets and stuff like that. It's, people who write comedy often write short stories and things like that. So I thought it'd be a fun night, and we gave it a go, and it was successful, so we kept doing it.
Yeah, you also feature in the comedy troupe Died of Worms. Again, where did that first start out? How long is that running?
That started out we started doing live stuff in 2006. We'd been together for about a couple of years before that, so just messing around doing videos for YouTube and stuff like that. I went to college in Bray, I did TV and film, and a couple of us decided it'd be fun to do a comedy sketch show pilot, get an RT and stuff like that. We held auditions and for the cast for that. Rory came to the audition but didn't get the auditions. We didn't give it to him. So we went and we did our pilot, and it was dreadful, and then we decided we'd do another pilot, and we got Rory back in. So.
Was he bitter?
No, it was a bit of a running joke for a little while though.
Not Also But Only, it's something of an ensemble piece. You kind of acting as an extended MC, and Died of Worms suits a troupe of comedians. Do you feel more comfortable working on the stage with others, or would you prefer to be out there doing your own stuff, hogging the limelight?
Doing the group stuff is brilliant, and then doing the club is brilliant as well, because you get to collaborate with people, you get to meet new people, and to get fresh ideas, but it's also, I think, important to have something yourself. So I'm getting that through the Edinburgh show, and that's obviously just me for an hour. So I think it's good to have a balance.
Oftentimes I find that comedians don't give their audience enough credit, and they tend to kind of resort to lowest common denominator comedy to get their laughs. Your comedy styling it's deadpan, but it's very, very intelligent. You don't dumb it down at all for the audience. So is that a conscious decision, or is that just your style?
It's not really a conscious decision. It's just kind of what you kind of do, what makes you fun, what makes you laugh, and what makes you kind of. If I went to a show, that's what I kind of want to see. So I think some comedians do that and do lowest common denominator stuff, but some audiences want to see that. You know what I mean? And some audiences don't. And it's very different. You can go to a different club, do the same set. Like sometimes you'd go and you do two shows in a night. You go do 10 minutes at one club, and you go off and do 10 minutes at the club. You do the same 10 minutes, and obviously you could get a completely different reaction because it's just a different makeup of the crowd.
Yeah, as I was saying, as part of the act, you've invited a number of other comedians to take part at the Comedy Carnival. You've got Maeve Higgins, Mark Doherty, Coppinger, and Jeremy Dyson, of course. How do you go about selecting your guests, and in particular, how did you drag Jeremy Dyson?
Well, the great thing about being in Dublin is you get to meet other comedians, and you go around the country doing these gigs, and it's all sort of like you get to make friends with people. And so like when I started in the club, I got Maeve in, I got Jarlath in, and they were more than happy to do it, especially as it's a free gig and you're not paying them anything, because it's something different. I think it appeals to comedians and stuff like that. So I just asked them again to do it, and because they enjoyed doing it the first time, they're more than happy to come back. And I wanted to make it sort of as enticing a lineup as possible. So I definitely set out, I had in my head that I wanted to get Mark Doherty to do it. He very graciously said he would do it. I wanted to get Jarlath to do it, I wanted to get Maeve to do it, I wanted to get David or Doherty to do it. Kevin Gildea comes down to the club and does brilliant stories every night, so I was really keen to get him to do it. And then with Jeremy Dyson, it was kind of like, I was thinking, well, it's at the Carlsberg Comedy Carnival. I might have a chance of getting him over. So I literally I'm a massive fan of the League Gentlemen, but more so, I think I'm a massive fan of Jeremy Dyson's writing. He has brought out 2 short story collections over the last couple of years, and he brought out the best novel I've ever read in my entire life.
What's that?
Called What Happens Now. And I just absolutely adored it. So
having seen Maeve Higgins both in your show and on her own, she puts on 2 very different performances in each, I think.
Sure.
Do you encourage your guests then to break out of their comfort zones, or do they just use your show's format kind of to test themselves, to push their own boundaries?
I think that's the idea of the night, is to do something a little bit different. That's kind of the only prerequisite I would put on them, or I would say to them, is that that's the kind of the idea of the night, is for different stuff, and we generally have people reading short stories or poetry or stuff like that. But if they've got other ideas that are sort of off straight stand-up, then they're more than welcome to do it. And I know, Maeve definitely pushed that and tried doing different stuff with that, and it was awesome. And Jarlath's been doing that as well.
In my opinion, the character that you portray on stage it's not quite the Shane Langan that I might see across from you now. On stage, it's kind of, I think you kind of channel your inner Adrian Mole a little. Yeah, am I right? Am I wrong on that? I mean, how much of your demeanour on stage is you, and how much of it is an act?
Yeah, I think it's definitely not me, purely me, but I think it is. It's sort of like an element of me, and sort of my more insecure, nervous side. It wasn't really from the outset me going, I want to write a character like this. I kind of wrote the material, and as I kind of started to perform it, it was performing it in this way, in this sort of persona, kind of suited the material better.
The character kind of grew out of that.
Yeah. So it was kind of organic in that regards. But yeah, it wouldn't be me. It would be.
It's fun to watch.
Good.
It really is. The kind of nervousness.
Hope it's not too awkward to watch.
Is there any acts that you're particularly looking forward to now coming up at the Comedy Carnival?
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing Maria Bamford. I think she's awesome. I've only seen like the stuff she's done online, the Maria Bamford show, and I think that's awesome. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what she does live. Eugene Merman as well. It's good to get an opportunity to see people you don't ordinarily get to see. It's an incredible. It's an incredible setup of Irish comedians. These comedians we get to see quite regularly. We never get to see them all together, and get to see them mingling with sort of international acts like Eugene Merman or Maria Bamford or all these other acts who are coming over. So. Okay,
after the Carlsberg Comedy Carnival, you'll be heading off to the Edinburgh Fringe Festival.
Yeah. Will
you be changing much of your act to tailor it to a more international audience?
I don't know. I haven't flagged anything massive that I think isn't going to play over there that would play over here. But I guess I will find out when I go over there.
In the middle of the session.
Yeah, I think that's unfortunately that you get like a couple of days previews over there, which is kind of rubbish really, because there's still shows at the Fringe, you know what I mean? But they're called previews, so they're cheaper. So apparently people are being nicer to you for that period of time, but that's just not the case. It's just like anything else, and there could still be a reviewer in during your previews and stuff like that.
Shane, thank you very much for talking to Culch.ie.
Thank you.
I look forward to catching Not Also But Only at 6 o'clock on Sunday at the Carlsberg Comedy Carnival. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. You're a gentleman.